echoes of Dhung-Ling, where time and traditions intertwine. In the heart of the Himalayas, the ancient monastery of Dhung-Ling stood tall and timeless. For centuries, it had been a haven of peace, prayer, and contemplation. Tenzin, an elderly monk with wisdom evident in his deep-set eyes, was one of its oldest residents. Every twilight, Tenzin embarked on a solitary walk, humming an old lullaby and seeking solace in nature's embrace. This evening, as the sun painted the snow-capped peaks in hues of gold and crimson, he stumbled upon a path he'd never noticed before. Curiosity piqued, he followed the trail, with every step making the distant monastery bells grow fainter. A symphony of chirping crickets and the soft rustling of leaves accompanied him. The path, lined with ancient cedars and rhododendrons, meandered until it led Tenzin to a mesmerizing sight, a hidden grove illuminated by countless fireflies. Their soft glow, combined with the twilight sky, created an ethereal dance of light and shadow. In the midst of the grove, a gentle stream murmured, its clear waters reflecting the first stars of the evening. Tenzin approached, feeling an overwhelming sense of tranquility. The grove felt like a sanctuary untouched by time, a bridge between the earthly realm and the cosmos. He settled by the stream, crossing his legs and closing his eyes. The murmurs of the water, the distant echo of monastery bells, and the cool mountain breeze, everything seemed perfectly orchestrated for a moment of deep meditation. As Tenzin inhaled the crisp air and began his rhythmic breathing, he felt a subtle presence. Opening one eye, he spotted a snow leopard, its majestic form highlighted by the firefly glow. The leopard, usually a symbol of elusive beauty, seemed unafraid and curious. It settled a few paces away, its blue eyes watching the monk intently. But instead of fear, Tenzin felt a connection, a bond forged by the shared serenity of the grove. He resumed his meditation, and the leopard, as if understanding the sanctity of the moment, lay down, its slow breaths harmonizing with Tenzin's. Hours seemed to pass like fleeting moments. The fireflies' dance slowed, the stars shone brighter, and the night deepened. The boundary between Tenzin and his surroundings began to blur. He felt as if he was the stream, the trees, the very air itself. This communion with nature, this profound interconnectedness, was the essence of his monastic teachings. Suddenly, a soft, chiming sound pierced the stillness. A young novice monk from Dhung-Ling had followed the path, holding a lantern and wind chimes made of old seashells. "Elder Tenzin," he whispered with reverence, "it's time for the midnight prayer." Tenzin opened his eyes, the spell of the grove gently broken. The snow leopard had vanished, leaving behind only its footprints by the stream. As they retraced their steps, the young monk, filled with curiosity, asked, "Elder, what did you find in that grove? I've never seen such a place in all my years here." Tenzin, with a contented smile, replied, "A bridge to the universe, a moment outside of time. But more than that, a reminder that beauty and peace can be found in the simplest of moments, and that nature, in its profound wisdom, always has lessons to teach." The duo continued their walk back, the monastery now in sight. And as the bells tolled once more, Tenzin's heart held on to the magic of the grove, a secret sanctuary where man, beast, and nature became one. In the days that followed, Tenzin's evening sojourns to the grove became more frequent. Word spread throughout Dhung-Ling about the magical place he had discovered, and soon other monks expressed a desire to witness it. One evening, as Tenzin sat meditating by the stream, he was joined by a group of monks. They settled around him, each finding their own space, imitating Tenzin's posture, their robes creating a patchwork of maroon against the green canvas of the grove. The silence was profound, broken only by the natural symphony of the grove. And as they meditated, the environment responded in kind. The stream's flow seemed gentler, the fireflies danced more brilliantly, and even the distant sounds of wildlife harmonized with the monks' deep breaths. It was the young novice monk who broke the silence, whispering, "Elder Tenzin, this place feels like a dream. How did it remain hidden for so long?" Tenzin, eyes still closed, responded, "Sometimes nature keeps its most precious secrets hidden, revealing them only when the world is ready." One evening, the monastery's abbot, an even older monk with a beard reaching down to his waist, joined Tenzin. The two sat side by side, a representation of decades of wisdom and practice. They spoke little, but their shared silence spoke volumes. The abbot, after what felt like hours, murmured, "This grove, Tenzin, it's a reflection of our inner sanctum, a place where peace reigns and the soul connects with the universe. Thank you for bringing it into our lives." As seasons changed and snow began to blanket the monastery, the grove took on a different kind of beauty. The water in the stream crystallized, the trees bore the weight of snow gracefully, and the fireflies were replaced by the soft glow of stars reflected on the snowy ground. But the essence of the grove remained unchanged. It continued to be a sanctuary, a place of communion, and a bridge to the cosmos. Years later, long after Tenzin had passed on, leaving behind a legacy of wisdom and teachings, the grove became a pilgrimage site for monks and seekers alike. They came in search of the magic Tenzin had once spoken of, the tranquility that transcended time. And as they sat in meditation, they would sometimes feel the gentle presence of the elder monk, a soft hum of his lullaby in the wind, reminding them that beauty, peace, and connection were ever present, waiting to be discovered in the simplest of moments. As the legend of the grove grew, it wasn't just monks and spiritual seekers who found their way to Dhung-Ling. Travelers, storytellers, and artists began to arrive, drawn by tales of the ethereal grove where the veil between man and nature seemed to vanish. One artist, Lamo, traveled from the far southern valleys, bringing with her canvases and vibrant pigments. Her fingers danced on the canvas as she tried to capture the grove's magic. The painting depicted a scene at dusk, with Tenzin in meditation, surrounded by the golden glow of fireflies, with the majestic snow leopard lurking in the shadows. This artwork soon became renowned throughout the region. When people saw it, they felt an inexplicable pull, an urge to visit Dhung-Ling and experience the grove for themselves. Lamo's painting was a gateway, allowing viewers a glimpse of the grove's enchantment. The monastery, once secluded and known only to a few, turned into a beacon of serenity and spiritual retreat. Monks of Dhung-Ling, though initially overwhelmed, soon realized the opportunity this presented. They began organizing meditation workshops, teaching visitors the art of mindfulness and grounding that Tenzin had once practiced in the grove. Among the visitors was a poet named Norbu. Sitting in the grove, he penned verses that spoke of the moon's embrace, the whispering trees, and the gentle caress of the night wind. His poetry resonated with many, and soon tales, paintings, and poems about the grove began to interweave, creating a rich tapestry of art and lore. It's not just the place, Norbu once remarked. It's the energy, the legacy of Tenzin, and the countless souls who found peace here. As the years turned into decades, the grove saw both change and constancy. The ancient trees grew taller, the stream changed its course slightly, but the essence of tranquility remained. Children of travelers who had once visited now came with their young ones, the legacy of the grove passing down generations. And every so often, on a silent, starry night, a soft lullaby would waft through the air, Tenzin's presence still felt, guiding and watching over the sacred space. Centuries later, the world outside had transformed. Cities had expanded, technology had advanced, and life had accelerated. Yet the grove of Dhung-Ling stood as a testament to timeless peace. People, now more than ever, sought refuge from the hustle and bustle of modern life, and the grove offered them a haven. Visitors would often remark how, amidst the ancient trees and the gentle stream, time seemed to slow, and the weight of the world would lift, if only for a little while. The grove, Tenzin's sanctuary, had transformed into the world's sanctuary, a place of solace in an ever-changing world. Within the intricate maze of urban sprawl, a young tech entrepreneur named Pima often found herself restless amidst the screens, notifications, and the never-ending clamor of the digital age. One evening, as she was aimlessly scrolling through an old family album, she came across a photograph that piqued her interest. An image of her great-grandmother standing beside a monk with a backdrop of a mesmerizing grove lit by fireflies. The back of the photo bore an inscription, Dhung-Ling, where time stands still. Driven by a sudden impulse and a deep yearning for solace, Pema decided to undertake a journey to this mythical grove. Swapping her corporate attire for comfortable travel wear, she set forth, guided only by the old photograph and tales passed down in her family. As she neared Dhung-Ling, the transition was palpable. The air grew fresher, the noise dimmed, and an inner quiet began to take hold. The path leading to the monastery was exactly as it had been described in countless stories. A serene trail marked by ancient cedars, with the distant echo of monastery bells. Upon her arrival, Pema was greeted by the resident monks, who, having maintained records of all visitors, recognized the photograph she held. "Ah, you're the 4th generation to visit us," the head monk remarked with a gentle smile. He then guided her to the grove, which, despite the weight of centuries, seemed untouched by time. The moment Pema entered the grove, a profound calm enveloped her. Sitting by the stream, she felt a connection, an unspoken bond with her ancestors who had sought solace in the same spot. Days turned into weeks as Pema immersed herself in the life of the monastery. She learned meditation techniques from the monks, listened to tales of Tenzin and the snow leopard, and most importantly, found the peace she had been seeking. One evening, inspired by the surrounding tranquility, Pema, with her tech-savvy background, conceptualized an idea, a digital platform that could bring the essence of Dhung-Ling to the world. While the grove's magic couldn't be replicated, its teachings, stories, and meditation practices could be shared. Returning to the city, Pema created Echoes of Dhung-Ling, a virtual space where users could listen to guided meditations, read stories about the grove, and immerse themselves in audio-visual experiences, capturing its serene beauty. The platform was an instant success. People from all over the globe, yearning for a slice of tranquility amidst their chaotic lives, flocked to it. Reviews poured in about how Echoes of Dhung-Ling had provided moments of solace and introspection. While technology and nature often seemed at odds, in this endeavor, they harmonized perfectly, echoing the grove's timeless message that peace, connection, and beauty can be found, even in the midst of change. As the popularity of Echoes of Dhung-Ling soared, many expressed the desire for tangible experiences to complement the virtual platform. Recognizing this need, Pema collaborated with the Dhung-Ling Monastery to organize retreats, enabling visitors to undergo immersive sessions in mindfulness, nature walks, and meditation at the source of it all. These retreats were unlike any other. The ancient wisdom of the monks intertwined with Pema's contemporary approach, allowing attendees to bridge the chasm between age-old traditions and modern life. Word of these retreats reached corners of the globe that Pema had never imagined. Among the visitors was Leif, a renowned musician from Scandinavia. Entranced by the grove's ambience, he composed a symphony that encapsulated its spirit, incorporating sounds of the rustling leaves, the babbling stream, and the distant monastery bells. The composition, titled Whispers of Dhung-Ling, became a global sensation, adding another layer to the grove's ever-growing tapestry of influence. Back in the digital realm, inspired individuals began creating content around their experiences at Dhung-Ling. Blogs, vlogs, documentaries, and even virtual reality experiences sprung up, each offering unique perspectives on the magic of the grove. A community formed, bonding over shared experiences and stories of transformation, all tracing back to Tenzin's discovery centuries ago. It wasn't just about the place. It was about the journey, both internal and external, that Dhung-Ling inspired. A journey of introspection, peace, and rediscovery. Decades later, atop a gentle hill overlooking the grove, a monument was erected in honor of Tenzin. Carved intricately from stone, it depicted the wise monk in meditation, with a snow leopard lounging by his side. Below, an inscription read, "To the seeker who showed us the way to find ourselves." Visitors would often sit by the statue, reflecting on their own journeys and the intertwining paths that had led them to this moment. The grove of Dhung-Ling, once a hidden gem, had now become a beacon for all those seeking solace, connection, and a deeper understanding of the world and themselves.